Good morning once again. A lot of you have been diligent stewards of attending these, so the faces are welcome and familiar. So thank you so much for joining us again for a presidential candidate opportunity to meet with faculty. For anyone who is new, for those of you who have been here, excuse the repetition, but just to confirm that this is a session that's been designed for and prepared by faculty to address a series of questions that many of you have forwarded and sent along to the representatives that are here with us from the Faculty Association and from the Academic Governance Council. And what we have of great importance is for you to fill out that evaluation form. So if you can be sure you have one, I think as you walked in, that was placed in your hand, so hopefully you have that. It's real critical that we get that feedback from you directly. In essence, we're going to move forward through the day here. We've got 8 questions lined up, and these questions will be limited to a 5-minute response in order to ensure that they are all given to and provided to the candidate. And this candidate is Dr. Gordon May. He comes to us from Highland Park Community College, part of the Oakland Community College system. And we welcome you. Thank you so much for this time to be with us. And we're going to let the panel introduce themselves to Dr. May.
Good morning, Dr. May. I am Frank Connor. I teach psychology, and I'm here representing the Faculty Association.
Nice to meet you, Frank.
Good morning. I'm Steve Abid. I teach economics. I'm head of the Social Science Department, and I'm on the Academic Governing Council Executive Committee.
Thanks, Steve.
You're mic'd. You have a mic.
Oh.
Good morning, Dr. May. My name is Sandy Andrews. I'm a physical science instructor, also the department head of physical science, and a member of the Academic Governing Council executive team.
Thank you. Thanks for that tour yesterday.
Good morning, Dr. May. I am Nikki Alexander. I'm a mathematics faculty as well as the department head of mathematics, and I serve as the vice president of the Faculty Association.
Thank you very much. Nice meeting you all, and thank you for having me as a finalist for your presidency, CEO position here. Everything I've read about Grand Rapids Community College, everything I've seen, everyone I've met, it's just been totally phenomenal. From my wife and I came in yesterday. We got here about 1:30 and to the JW Marriott, which is a fantastic hotel, just a year old or so. And the rooms weren't quite ready. I think 4 o'clock is a natural or the official check-in, but we want to be here by 2 o'clock to take the tour. And the tour was with Sandy and Patty Tarkowski, and it was just phenomenal. Toured the city, toured the area. There's some great outreach going on here at Grand Rapids Community College. And my wife and I had only been here one other time. My former boss, who was then Patsy Fulton, married your chancellor president, Dick Calkins, and I was here. My wife and I were here for their wedding. And it was at a local hotel, so I really didn't get a chance to see the college at that particular time. But the meeting this morning with the College Leadership Council and the tour of the campus itself, you all have quite a complex here, and it's just wonderful to be here and to be among you, and I appreciated my semifinalist interview, and where I was one of 10 and selected. Steve was on the search committee, as was Laura. And I feel really good about that semifinalist interview, and was hopeful that I would be a finalist. And when the search consultant called and told me I was on my way to Oakland University to teach a class. I'm teaching this summer. I'm teaching a class in the Educational Leadership doctoral program called Current Topics in Higher Education. And it's a real small seminar type class. I only have 6 students, 4 are PhD track, and 2 are taking their last coursework. This was their last course. It's an elective in the program, and 2 were postgraduates. A real quick story how I got to teach that class. Dr. Sandra Packard, who was the former president of Oakland University, prior to Dr. Gary Russey, who's the current president there, when she left the presidency, she went to faculty to chair and to teach in the Educational Leadership doctoral program. So maybe a year and a half ago, she gave me a call and said, and I didn't know her real well. I'd met her a couple times when she was president. I said, Gordon, I have this PhD class in educational leadership. I have 12 students, and I want them to visit with one community college president, one university president, and one K-12 superintendent. And from people I've talked to, I've been directed to you to see if you would entertain us. I said, absolutely. So they came out about 5:30 one day, and I spent 2 hours with her in her class. And then she mailed me a book with a thank you card, with a thank you note. And the book is titled Leadership Theory and Practice by Peter Northouse, 7th edition. And so I read the book. I read it leisurely at first, but then she invited me to serve on the Educational Leadership Roundtable, an advisory committee, if you will, for the program. And I did that for about a year. And just a few months earlier than now, she called to see if I wanted to teach in the program this summer. So make a long story short, I am. It's a very condensed course, a 7.5 week course, and it's been totally exhilarating for me. It's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of work teaching both Tuesday and Thursday evenings from 5:30 to 8:50, but it's really given me even a deeper appreciation. Although I've always had a very deep appreciation for faculty, but to spend be up to 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, grading papers and constructing tests, and most recently the final exam, which is being given tonight, being proctored by Dr. Packard in my absence. So when I leave here, my wife and I leave here tomorrow, we're going straight to Oakland University, pick up those finals so I can go home and grade them, get the grades in through their electronic system, and then Friday take a flight to St. Louis to visit with my mother, who will be 90 years old on September 23rd, and then in failing health. She doesn't travel much anymore. My whole family and I will be there for her 90th birthday celebration in September. But I'll be the only one traveling this Friday. So it's been my busiest summer that I've ever had in my 21 years with Oakland Community College.
Great. Thanks so much for that information. I have the first question.
Okay.
Describe 3 distinct community college students.
3 distinct students. I will start with the traditional student directly out of high school. And that's the 17 or 8-year-old that's just graduated from high school, and due to a variety of reasons, they make the selection for the community college. And many of those reasons are it's a good place to start. It's an excellent place to start. With the transferability of the credits, with the macro agreement and all, to take your first coursework up to and including your associate degree, and then transfer on to a senior institution if you're on transfer track and not a career track, if you will, for the baccalaureate degree. So out of the 47 high schools in Oakland County, we used to get about 20% of the high school students matriculating right to Oakland Community College, and about 10% of that was the public, and about 10% of the private high school students. But I understand that here at Grand Rapids Community College, the matriculation rate, or what we call the connection rate with the high schools, is much higher. It's like 30%. That's great. That's one student. Another student is one who has gone off to do some things after high school, after completing high school, gone to work, gone to the military, do some other things, and come back. And that's what raises the average age of a community college student. At Oakland Community College, it's 28. Here it's about 26. You get a little bit more of the younger student than do we at Oakland Community College. So that's a student, one who has some apprehension about coming back. They're homeowners, they're stakeholders in the community and in the community college. They pay property taxes, and they're a little apprehensive about going back to the classroom. So that's why they come to the community college. It's a place of nurturing. It's a place of support, the academic support services and all, smaller classroom environment versus going to a huge institution and getting lost, say at a Michigan or Michigan State. The highest reverse transfer institution at Oakland Community College is Michigan State University. They're not ready, and they come back to the community college. So that in and of itself is interesting. And the other student, I would say, is the one who are looking for a vocational or career opportunity. They are they're not satisfied with where they are, their station in life, where they are working, and they come back to the community college looking for not necessarily a transfer degree, but a certificate or degree in a vocational or an occupational program where they can really then realize some of their dreams. And once they gain that certificate or the degree, they're ready for work. They are absolutely ready for work. So I would say those are the three. I would describe three students that come to the community college.
Thank you.
Dr. May, the next question is mine. It's a two-part question. The first part of the question is, and I'll give you both parts here. The first part is to describe for us the optimal college culture. And the second part then is using examples from your past. How did you promote this culture, and how would you promote this culture at GRCC?
The optimal college culture for me is one with all groups working together. When I became president of the Highland Lakes campus of Oakland Community College six years ago, I immediately started a meeting with the Oakland Community College Faculty Association leadership group. The president of the OCFA leadership happens to be an accounting professor at my campus. Her name is Mary Stone, and I'm going to have a handout for each of you, if you would want to take it with you. It's a support letter from Mary Stone, and so I started these leaders with these meetings with the leadership group, and as a result of that, we have not had one faculty grievance in 6 years. No other campus of our the other four campuses cannot say that. But it's tackling problems when they're molehills and not letting them develop into mountains. And so I remember just after I started with at the Highland Lakes campus, a gentleman by the name of Professor John Lundgren. He was a math professor, since retired, one of the inaugural faculty members at the college, having spent over 40 years. Oakland Community College started in 1965. He was one of the inaugural faculty members. And he told me, although I'd only worked at Highland Lakes campus for a little bit as an interim dean a few years back. So, but in Oakland Community College is a 25,000 student college. About 5,300 of those are at the Highland Lakes campus. But Professor Lundgren told me as we were walking in one day, just after I started, he said, "Gordon, I want you to be very successful here." He said, "So I'm going to share some things with you that I hear that I think that you may or may not know that you need to know, so that you can kind of get on it and do whatever you need to do, to create the culture that you're looking for here." And so he was true to his word. He was true to his word, and I just had an excellent, and still do, an excellent relationship with the faculty unit, and not only the faculty unit, but all six of our employee groups. We have 6 unions at the college. So the only employees who are not unionized are the exempt group of the chancellor, the chancellor's cabinet, those in executive leadership at the college, human resources department, and some of the information technology department, and some institutional research. That is pretty much it. It's about 60 or 65 employees out of 850 are not in union. Everyone else is in a union. So you have to get along with the unionized groups. You have to get along with everybody to make the institution so that you can see some institutional effectiveness, through working collaboratively, with one another. So it's that's the culture that I have inspired at my campus, and it works well. When I come in and there's been a big snowfall, and I come into an absolutely clean campus, somebody made that happen. Someone came in at 3 o'clock in the morning. Our grounds and maintenance group came in at 3 o'clock in the morning or earlier to clear those walkways, the pathways, the parking lots, so that we could have a safe environment in which to work. So another thing that I've done to create a culture at the campus is I send out about 3 to 4 times a year, I send out a long email. Sometimes it can be 2 or 3 pages, but it's called Just Between Us. I just send it out to the campus community. But I want my community of staff members, of faculty and staff members, to be informed. So when they're at college-wide meetings, and they know what's going on from the budget standpoint, from the strategic planning standpoint, from just any and everything that impacts their community, I keep them in the know. that is only one medium. Obviously, I have an open door. That's my leadership style is participative, collaborative, open door, and I get to know people from every level of the organization, and I think that has promoted the culture that existed in some part and some part didn't at the Highland Lakes campus of Oakland Community College, and I'm really appreciative of the culture we have set together.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
The next question, and this is a two-part question. How do you, excuse me, how do you keep the Board of Trustees well informed about college operations without encouraging the trustees to micromanage? And the second part is, how do you as president remain well informed without micromanaging?
Well, I'll talk about the Board of Trustees first. I don't report directly to a Board of Trustees, the board. The Chancellor does. I CEO at the college. I report directly to the Chancellor. But I'm there at every board meeting. The board will ask me to serve on certain committees with them and with others at the institution. So over the years, I've had a very good working relationship, with our Board of Trustees. I think there's a level of respect there. That no matter who you called on the board, you will see that is there. We don't enjoy the Carver model of policy governance as Grand Rapids Community College and 3 other community colleges among the 28 in the state does. I would very much like to work in that kind of environment. I haven't seen that in 21 years at Oakland Community College. There's been some divisiveness among our board members. At our last, we just went through the Higher Learning Commission accreditation review, and we have a monitoring report due on board relations, and we have a focus visit for a student outcomes assessment. Those are the 2 that we have got to clean up, if you will, and it starts with our Board of Trustees, and so there's some things that they need to get in place by the Higher Learning Commission by a certain date, or that things might not go as well as they should. So and you can't tell the board to do this or do that or do that. They don't report to us. We report to them. So over the years, I've had a very good working relationship with the board, but there has been some divisiveness, and that I'm so close. I'm right there on the front row at every board meeting. The chancellor is at the actual table, with the board. But they will, and we have a new chancellor. He came, he worked 20 years in Canada. His name is Dr. Timothy Meyer. So he doesn't know the institution. So he calls on us as presidents. I'm the senior president among the four campus presidents. So he in fact calls on us for some things, and will defer to us at the board meeting if the board asks a question that he made, just because he hasn't worked in Michigan until now in the last 20 years, although he is a U.S. citizen from Minnesota. So that's. I'm really interested in the Carver model. I'm really interested in learning more about that. I've read a lot about it. I haven't lived it, nor has anyone at Oakland Community College at this point.
I have the next question.
Okay, Sandy.
Provide an example when in your current job there was a limited source of funds and 2 equally deserving recipients, the workforce development and liberal arts schools, were both requesting the funds. How did you resolve this situation?
Well, both arms of the institution are very, very critical. Obviously, if you're going to be a comprehensive community college, as we are, and as Grand Rapids Community College is, you have to do certain things, and among those is the liberal arts component. To make sure the students can come in and have their credits transferred to the senior institution of their choice. Very critical. The Arts and Sciences Department, I know at Grand Rapids Community College, totals 13 disciplines, if I'm not mistaken, and then the Workforce Development Unit is 17. Those are very critical. Those are the two major arms of the college. But although we live in a realm of reduced, if you will, resources, and you can't do everything for everyone. So you just make the decision that there is next year. How old is the equipment? If it's some equipment that they're asking, is it on the replacement list? Is it you have to replace your equipment after every so often? On your fixed asset list, those equipment pieces that cost $5,000 or more. That's GASB, Governmental Accounting Standards Board 3435, and so you just make the with all the given information, you get input from everyone who might be remotely involved, with these two entities, and obviously from the liberal arts and the arts and sciences side of the house and the workforce development side of the house, and get the input, and then just make the best decision appropriate at that particular time. And if there's absolutely no funding for the other the unit, you're hopeful that the following fiscal year, starting July 1, you can dedicate some dollars to that, to that activity or focus. Thank you.
Dr. May, I have the next question, and it's a scenario. Let's say the college produces a controversial play that tests the values of the community. There is extensive negative press coverage, and you are receiving phone calls from board members and community members alike. College-wide funding is being threatened at the legislative level. You have the ultimate decision to continue or discontinue the play. What would you consider before making a decision regarding the play?
I would, even before the play, if I had information about the play, even before it came into production, I would ask question myself, would it pass the front page litmus test of being on the front page of the Grand Rapids Press, the following day? And if I came to the decision that would not pass, I would try to not let it get to that point where it is in open display for the public, and you have board members and other members of the broader college community and the external community up in arms about whatever happens to be. But you have to understand too that we are Grand Rapids Community College as Oakland Community College, we're a learning community, and everything kind of comes into play unless it's totally distasteful or without taste. Then it shouldn't move forward. So I would try to make that determination earlier versus later, when it is already out there in the open public and creating all kinds of turmoil. And then once you take action after that point, there's going to be some shattered feelings, among the principals who are involved in it.
It's back to me.
Okay.
GRCC has several satellite campuses. Drawing upon your philosophy of learning and experience as a leader, what resources are needed to best support student success at a satellite campus, and how would you prioritize these resources?
Well, those sites are quite important. I was on the tour yesterday with Sandy Andrews and Patty Tarkowski, and I saw the Learning Center, the Wealthy Street Learning Center. Very impressive. A definite need. A lot of the students that come to the community college are not ready for college classes. They need some level of remediation. Probably 50% of the students that come to Oakland Community College are not college ready. They're needing some developmental courses in order to continue to get ready for college level classes. And years ago there was funding available. There was adult education funding available at the state level, spread out among the 575 or 579 K-12 districts around the state. Well, that around $40 million of that budget for adult education was legislatively reduced to about $1 million. And so what happened to all those students? They're still there, needing that instruction. They come to the community college. So, it forces us to even invest more monies in developmental ed, and in the case of Grand Rapids Community College, the GED, the continuation of high school completion, and all the ESL courses, if you will. So I would meet with the state legislators. I did governmental relations work for Oakland Community College for about 3 years, and it was an add-on to the duties that I already had. But it was very interesting, meeting with the legislators and trying to move legislation in your favor. I was fortunate in the case where I would get a call sometimes from a legislator on either side of the aisle wanting to know how this particular thing that they were about to vote on would impact Oakland Community College. I feel very good about that. One of our lobbyists, and we used to have, and I was on the team that hired Karub Associate as our original lobbyist for the college. And one of them, when we first started working with him, he told me, Gordon, you have to have 5620 vision here. And I said, well, what's 5620 vision? And he said, well, in the House of Representatives in the state of Michigan, you need 56 votes of the 110 legislators in the House. You need 20 votes of the 38 state senators, and then obviously you need the gubernatorial signature as well. He says you've got to have friends on both sides. So I made friends on both sides to help move that type of legislation. We have a semi-annual meeting with the Oakland County Legislative Delegation, letting them know what the needs are. The state funding at Oakland Community College and at Grand Rapids Community College has really decreased over the years. Not necessarily decreased in hard dollars, but decreased some as a percentage of your general fund budget. And so we are, when community colleges, the majority of community colleges came into being. I know Grand Rapids junior college started in 1914 and came as an independent community college in 1991. But when the majority of the community colleges came into being in the state, the promise was that 50% of the budget would be funded by the state appropriation. Well, it never happened at Oakland Community College. Our high water mark was about 40% of our general fund budget, and that has been continually reduced now until it's about 14% of our general fund budget. Some of the real dollars have increased some years, but the percentage because the budget has increased, and then with this state equalized valuation for our property taxes, Oakland County, it has a wealth of state equalized valuation, which really impacts the bottom line, as far as property taxes. But even that through state legislation limitation of property taxes, the Headley Amendment, if you will, those dollars have been reduced some too. And I know the Grand Rapids Community College has levies. The total levy is 1.9 mil, but due to the Headley Amendment, it's down to 1.7865 mils. Oakland Community College, we levy 1.8 mil, the original millage in perpetuity when we started for 1 mil, and then we added on the 0.8 for 10 years later on. And so that has been reduced to 1.5844, with the limitation legislation, with the tax limitation legislation. And so that hurts. And I know that Grand Rapids Community College has not been successful in the last millage run, the last couple of millage runs, but by a very short margin, 373 votes, that can be had. That should be had by finding out, going to the communities, finding out what's happened, why did to get a no vote in some of the areas, and trying to remedy that situation for the next vote. That's a very narrow loss.
This is just a hypothetical question.
Yes.
Suppose the faculty contract has expired and negotiations have stalled. What do you do?
Well, the first thing I would do, if I was president and CEO here, I would meet with the bargaining team. It's not common for the CEO to come to the table. There are people that are at the table, but if things are stalled, we need the college needs to keep going, and you don't do that with with low morale. The faculty unit, that's why people come to community college. People come to any college. They're coming for what's in the classroom, or what they can get electronically through the online courses. They don't come for the administrative. The more we disappear to a student, the better the institution is just running. We should be fairly transparent. But they see the faculty member in their classroom are coming to them through the Blackboard or Compass, Educator U Compass course management systems through the online network. So it's very important. I would at that point, if it was at a total impasse, before it went to mediation or some of the other potential remedies, I think I would come to the table to see if we could get beyond this impasse.
The next question is mine, and I'd like to go back to that first question where you described the 3 distinct community college students, and if you'd like, I can review those with you, or if
that's okay.
You've got it.
Mm-hmm.
So what we want to ask you about those students is, what do you believe each of them needs to succeed at GRCC, and how would you ensure that were to happen?
They need a welcoming environment. They need to feel at home at Grand Rapids Community College. They need to feel that they're going to get the best that there is out there, in the classroom and in the support services outside of the classroom, with tutorial services, with the disability services, if you will. We call it Oakland Community College our past programs for academic support services. We have about maybe 1,500 students who are either handicapped or operate or getting a 2-point GPA, less than a 2-point GPA. They can get free tutoring through that service, if you will. But they need the entirety of our resources. We are affordable. You only pay a third of what you would pay at a senior institution, and take the same course, essentially. Have that course transfer when you're ready through the macro agreement or maybe another articulation agreement that you might have with the senior institution. But they need to know when they come, and they need to see evidence of people that look like them in the classroom. They need a diverse climate, as far as the teaching faculty and the non-teaching faculty, the counselors, the librarians, and the academic support center or academic support staff, if you will. And they need for someone to tell them, you can do this. I embarked on a master's program 20 years after my undergraduate degree at Indiana University in the School of Business. I thought for a long time that undergraduate degree in business management, from then the #1 undergraduate school of business in the United States, Harvard was #2. Harvard had the top graduate school. I thought that would take me through the entirety of my career. It did, as long as I was in private industry, which was 15 years, and started teaching at the Auburn Hills campus of Oakland Community College while I was still in private industry. But once I came to work for Oakland Community College, and I started getting more responsibility and promotions, I looked around the table, and as a matter of fact, it was under Patsy Fulton Calkins. She was the chancellor at the time, and I was the only one there with just a bachelor's degree. And so with support, she was very supportive. So I went back 20 years later and started a master's program. 2 years later, I graduated with a 4-point GPA, and then embarked into the educational leadership certificate program, which led me to the PhD program. And so I defended my dissertation on Halloween of 2005, and it came out of there as Dr. Gordon May, a PhD. So I tell students who are apprehensive, and I meet with students. I meet with them through student organizations, Phi Theta Kappa, a nursing student organization, which is 4th largest in the nation, where over 400 students are in the nursing students organization, and I tell them that you can do this. The nursing is a very tough program. It is a very rigorous program at Oakland Community College, as I'm sure it is here. And I see now that you're going to a year-round nursing program. And I have some things I can bring to the table about our nursing program that could prove very helpful. Partnerships that we now have an accelerated nursing program. Instead of taking 220 students in the traditional program, we now, with Detroit Medical Center, we have a partnership for an accelerated where we expanded that to 280 students starting this year. Actually, the accelerator started in May, and so with about $500,000 that their Detroit Medical Center and their 7 medical facilities that are guaranteeing clinical sites for all of the graduates, for all the students in the program, and then would like to hire a lot of them. There's no guarantee that they will hire them. There's no guarantee that a student doesn't sign anything that they would definitely go to work for the Detroit Medical Center. But just that relationship over the course of those years would lead itself to that many of them will be employed by the Detroit Medical Center. They're bringing $500,000 a year to the table for our nursing program. So the students need to know that they can do this. I started 20 years later. My biggest apprehension going into the PhD program was statistics. I hadn't had statistics since my undergrad days at Indiana University, and it was an econ stats course, and it was very tough. I was playing football, and so it was like having two full-time jobs. And I said, wow, can I handle statistics? But fortunately, I was able to take the same professor through the entirety of those 5 stats courses, and I had A's in each and every one except an A- in one. His name is Dr. Donald Marcotte. He has since passed away just about a year ago. He had a brain aneurysm. I went to his memorial service on the campus of Wayne State University there and found out that he was a very laid-back individual. You would never know that he had the notoriety that he does in that field. But there's a list of 113,000 worldwide list of mathematicians and statisticians worldwide. He ranked number 16 on that list. I had no idea, but he made those stats real, and I led a cohort group of about 5 students that we were all going through together, and among the group, I was the best at interpreting the data. There was another person who was really good with the software, the SPSS software, statistical software. And all but the 5 of us that are going through were waiting on one more to get her PhD, and we're all encouraging her. You know, we're a team with that. So I'll be talking to her when I get back to campus, see how she's coming along.
We'd like to finish up with an opportunity to see if you have any questions for us.
Well, I do. I have something that I'd like to share with you, and I have a handout. There's 2 support letters I have here, and I hope you'll take them with you. One is from Mary Stone, who's the president of the Oakland Community College Faculty Association. She wrote a support letter, and I would like you to see it. I'd like you to read what in fact she had to say. And then the other is from Dr. Sandra Packard, who I mentioned earlier, who's now chairing and facilitating the Educational Leadership Doctoral Program at Oakland University. And I have something. My wife was at the dinner last night with the board. She's going to join me for the formal interview with the Board of Trustees at 4 o'clock. But she's getting ready for a class that she'll be teaching this fall. She's an educational counselor at the Auburn Hills campus of Oakland Community College. So she's prepping for her course in Introduction to Education. And she just taught it for the first time last year. And she shared something with me that she shared with her students. And I'd just like to read it. It's fairly brief. It's called What Teachers Make. The dinner guests were sitting around the table discussing life. One man, a CEO, decided to explain the problem with education. He argued, what's a kid going to learn from someone who decided his best option in life was to become a teacher? He reminded the other dinner guests what they say about teachers, those who can do, those who can teach. To stress his point, he said to another guest, you're a teacher, Bonnie. Be honest. What do you make? Bonnie, who had a reputation for honesty and frankness, replied, you want to know what I make? She paused for a second, then began. Well, I make kids work harder than they ever thought they could. I make a C+ feel like the Congressional Medal of Honor. I make kids sit through 40 minutes of class when their parents can't make them sit for 5 without an iPod, GameCube, or movie rental. You want to know what I make? She paused again and looked at each and every person at the table. I make kids wonder. I make them question. I make them criticize. I make them apologize and mean it. I make them have respect and take responsibility for their actions. I teach them to write, and then I make them write. I make them read. I make them show all their work in math. I make my students from other countries learn everything they need to know in English while preserving their unique cultural identity. I make my classroom a place where all students feel safe. I make my students stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag because we live in the United States of America. Finally, I make them understand that if they use the gifts they were given, work hard, and follow their hearts, they can succeed in life. Bonnie paused one last time and then continued. Then when people try to judge me by what I make, I can hold my head up high and pay no attention because they are ignorant. You want to know what I make? I make a difference. What do you make? I want to share that with you and applaud each and every faculty member that spends his or her time in the classroom or coming to students electronically, which is on the cutting edge and which is growing at our institutions. I also have as a handout my personal vision and philosophy of education, and I'd like you all to take a copy of that if you would, and see that. And essentially what it says is I envision a world of lifelong learners who are motivated by their families, educators, and others to constantly acquire new knowledge, skills, and competencies in order to actualize their true potential. And I further envision that these lifelong learners will share their wisdom and experiences with subsequent generations of lifelong learners. And my role on this educational learning continuum is that of student and teacher. I feel that I'm a student of leadership. I've been a student of leadership for now 21 years. I've been targeting this type of a position now for 21 years. And, you know, like the books, Stephen Covey in his Seven Habits of Highly Effective People began with the end in mind. A gentleman who's now deceased told me, shortly after I started with the college, said, Gordon, you've got a lot of skills, a lot of talents, but you're going to have your union card if you're going to go where you want to go in this community college concept or admission. I said, what do you mean, union card? He said, you've got to get your doctorate degree. And I said, wow. Well, now I have it. You know, I've prepared myself well over the years for that, and I truly believe in the community college concept. You know, everyone can succeed. You know, given the right amount of dedication, discipline, and perseverance. And perseverance is one that says, a quote I heard one time, perseverance makes the impossible possible, the possible likely, and the likely definite. That's not mine. I read that from years ago. And I'm a person, I love quotes. So if you find any, and whether or not I get this position, email them to me, because I do collect quotes. One of our fantastic graduates, and I'm sure Grand Rapids Community College, as well as others, not only OCC, has a lot of success stories. One of ours will take flight on October 8th in a space flight. His name is Dr. Andrew Fustel, and he graduated from Oakland Community College, came back as our distinguished alumnus in 2003, and he made a quote that I committed to memory too. He said, life is not measured by the number of breaths you take, but by the number of moments that take your breath away. So many of our community college students are really doing quite well. Another alumnus of the year is now the CEO of RE/MAX International, the largest realty company worldwide. She and her family live in Denver. Had the opportunity to meet her. You know, those are only two. There are many. The top CPA score in the state of Michigan for 3 consecutive years was an OCC transfer student who transferred to the senior institution, the upper level business school, Walsh College. 3 years. These are community college students who are taught by all of us and having this type of success. And I'm sure you could go down the line and mention many, many, many from Grand Rapids Community College as well. Is my time up?
Well, I think, do you have questions?
Well, I didn't know if you wanted to take the mic out in the audience.
That would be good, yeah.
Okay.
Let's ask some questions of Dr. May. Did you have any?
Dr. May, we met in the hall. I'm the Director of Sustainability as well as being part of the Behavioral Science faculty.
Right.
I'm curious about your experience with sustainability at Oakland Community College and what your impressions are about what we're doing here at Grand Rapids Community College.
Well, it is very important. It's got those jobs in solar and wind and all are going to replace some of the manufacturing jobs, the 400,000 or so that have gone, that are now no more. Well, we have taught courses in sustainability for 20 plus years. You may be familiar with Dr. Deborah Rowe, and she is on the cutting edge. Some of our courses have been dormant, but we're going to revitalize them. We just recently got a grant from the federal government for $1.5 million to kind of energize our programs as it relates to sustainability. So she met, Dr. Rowe met with the college presidents and our vice chancellor of academic and student affairs, and so we're going to put some more life, probably not as much. We don't have as much life in that as Grand Rapids Community College has today, but Oakland Community College, will be a player at the table in that. But it's important. Governor Granholm at her State of the State talked about the 400,000 plus jobs that were lost in Michigan, or there were the number of jobs that were lost in Sweden, and what they did in sustainability to replace a lot of those opportunities. Say, why can't we do that here in Michigan? Well, I think community colleges such as Grand Rapids Community College and Oakland Community College and others are going to make that happen. And from what I've seen, Grand Rapids is already making that happen.
Were there any others? Okay, I think this concludes our forum for today. If, again, you could be sure to fill the evaluation out. Dr. May, we thank you so much for your time and answers today, and panel for your work on this effort. Thank you all.